Hey everyone, welcome back to the Funny Farm. I'm Derek. This is the Funny Farm. Today we're working on building our son a nice new backyard playground. So let's get to it. Here's the rough layout. It's going to be beside our lean-to, 12 feet off of it to give us some mowing lanes. And we went with some of the cheapest material I could find from the Jungle Web Amazon. I liked the edging. I'll post that below. And we have our weed barrier, weed preventer. Some of the stuff I bought last year for the pad stunk. This stuff hopefully will do a lot more. I'll post that below as well. Let's get to laying this thing out, and then let's get the weed barrier down. So this is going to be 20 feet by 24 feet. It's going to be covered in a regular mulch, non-colored mulch, and then we're going to build a fence around it. Nice low-hanging picket fence. Yeah.
I don't want it in this. Look at me. I don't want on your video like this.
Okay, so we have a 24 by 20 foot area. I went off the side of this lean-to. You can try to square this up or, do as much as you'd like to keep it straight, but I think this looks really good. It's fairly well done, and there's gonna be a fence around it, so you're barely gonna notice it. We're using this 5 foot by 250 feet. We're gonna go north and south, east and west. We're gonna cover this twice. It's about a 400 square foot area. I dug out the edges, that way they lined up properly. This looks a little bit bad, but once they're all in and together, it'll look a lot better. Well, now we're just gonna fill it in. This is 1 yard, $32. I think we're gonna take about 3 to 4 yards, I would say, to fill this whole thing up. It's a bad day to be IKEA furniture. This is hour 10 of building with Derek. So since we have such a slope where our playground is at, I'm gonna just cut these 1 foot off, so making it 7 foot total, burying 2 feet, making it 5 foot out of the ground. And then I'm hoping that we can, I'll use a string line and we'll get into probably 4 feet or less overall. So I'm gonna leave that extra foot on these, and then I'll just cut them with a skill saw when we go to line them all up later on. Shout out to my brother for letting me use his saw. Metabo cuts well. Okay, I have my 4-post set for my 4 corners. Got a storm coming tomorrow. I'm gonna run a string line, work one side at a time, and knock out the rest of the posts. I went off the squareness of the playground as well, so I'm keeping it pretty tight to the playground. That way I can avoid as much weed whacking as possible. I used some spare 1x in the barn. I just have these 2 set up so I can run a string line to to make sure the rest of my posts are nice and straight. I might put some pegs at the bottom of these to make these go into the ground easy. I might put some points on these real quick. Let's see what I can find around. I want to show the two basic knots that I've used for this entire process. I've only used two. These were shown to me, I believe, by my father-in-law, Jeff. Shout out to you, thank you. And my stepfather, Joe. So thanks you both for these. I've kept these in my head for a long time if I ever had to use a string line, which is very rare for me. So the first one, you're going to want to loop it about 6 or 8 times, pull one end, and then pull the end with the string tight, all right? And then whenever you want to release this tension that you have, you just pull the open end, pull it, and it's going to untie itself. Very easy to use. That's easier to use than a slip knot, trust me. Drop a loop, and then I'm going to take this end and wrap it around my finger. And then I'm going to pull that loop through it. All right, I'm going to pull this nice and tight. And there we go. Now this one, whenever I have to take this apart, I have to cut it. That's why I don't like using this, but I use this for all one end of all my string line. I just kept it normal, and that would work off this end. So I would always keep this. I kept the same knot for the entire process. My first string line is run. This is gonna be the section where the gate is as well. So I'm gonna lay out where my post should be. Then we can start digging our holes now that we have our line set up. All right, so I finished the gate end first. So we have 4 posts. Now I'm gonna end up running this long length, this 24-foot length here. Keeping the yard nice and tidy by just dumping it all into this wheelbarrow, then putting it where we need some topsoil around the place. That keeps it, you know, from all that dirt accumulating on the ground, killing extra grass we don't need to, and all that other fun stuff. And when you want to release tension, just bring it back this way, and that lets all those go. Boom, there you go. Okay, all posts are in. They're all at about 5 foot, give or take. All the holes are dug to 2 feet, maybe slightly more on some of these. So I have the first string run to where I want the height of this. Now I'm gonna go with the contour of the ground. We're sloping down. This is our high point, and we're sloping down. And it's fairly level this way as well. So I have it set at 4 foot on both ends, and I just wanted to see what my line level would say. You could set up a transit and some other things too, but it's way off. But I think this is gonna look nice with the contour of the line, and we're gonna keep the pickets at the same height. So there'll be a slight drop coming down, and then it'll be fairly even across, but all your pickets will be at the same height. So this is what I'm deciding to do. I think that's the best case for me. Let me know in the comments, what would you do? Would you go with the contour of this ground too? Or would you try to keep this level across? Okay, all posts are marked, ready to be cut. So all 12 will be cut to 4 foot height.
I'll link these in the comments. So I'm 3 1/8 inch down. I want these runners to be at a pretty high height, since this is a low 4 foot or lower on all the sections. So when you're leaning, you're not leaning too high and at risk of breaking the pickets. So that's why I have them a little bit higher, just because it's a lower fence. So we're in the string line 3 1/8 on both sides. We'll hit these middles. We're gonna work our way around the top first. I'm using an 1 5/8" exterior screw for this. There's probably a couple applications you could use. You could probably use something a little less deep as well, honestly.
In my shed, we have this set up, so I have all of my boards. I believe I have 24 boards in total. So I'm gonna cut all the runners, do the bottoms first section, then I'll do the tops. We'll see how it looks. These are all 8-foot boards too, by the way. The best way I've found to cut these that are going down on an angle, I have it about 5 degrees. Just kind of mess with these settings a little bit, just to go back and forth. And I can cut it one way, cut it a little long, and then I can flip this, rotate the end, and then just cut just a little hair off that end. And that gives me the perfect alignment for my steady downward angle. Okay, we got 41 by 6 by 8s. I calculated 55, but we're gonna go 40 first. I still get some other pieces of wood for the gate, some other odds and ends, some caps. So we'll come back and get all that after we cut all these, because, my calculations may not be correct. This is not quickest fashion, but what I'm gonna do is just cut all these boards in half with my chop saw. What is this, a 7 1/4 or 7 1/2? I think it's a 7 1/4 blade. Probably have to go get another one, but this thing's been awesome for me. We're gonna do that. We're gonna cut this pile, literally in half, which is great. Give me some space. And then I'm gonna pull out the old Craftsman, bring it out here, and then we will rip these 6-inch boards to 3-inch each. And then finally, we're gonna cut 45s on the tips of these pickets. You staying with me? Doing it this way is a lot more work, but it's gonna save us some money. Each of these boards, I'm a math teacher, but I kind of forget my calculations here. There's 4 for 1. It's going to be like under $2 for each picket, technically. So somewhere in that $1.50 range to $2 range. Cheapest I could find. So I think that's a good deal. Two more piles to get through. We have about 160 posts ready to rock and roll. Bam, here we are so far. I wanted to keep the height about 2 inches roughly from the bottom. That's gonna fluctuate a little bit. I guess you can call this some type of a jig I made. And that's the way I've been lining them all up. I'm gonna work on this next section in the back first before I run these long 24-foot sections. Check it out so far, everyone.
Just one side to go. We're so close, everyone. This is where I've ended. Got to cut some more pickets.
So we cut 40 boards overall. I just bought 15 more. I wanted some extras to store in the barn because, of course, some of these will break over time. So I'd like to have some on hand. But I only need about 30 more plus the gate. And that's going to be it. So we're going to rip those, cut them tonight, and then get those ready to put on, and then we'll make our gate.
Okay, all the pickets are in. Whew, that was a lot of work.
Building the gate, each length is, it's going to be 3 foot by about 42.5 inches. So our long part's about 42.5, up and down about 33 inches, giving us 1.5 inches for each of these. We're going to keep it straight as humanly possible to make this gate, but quick and simple, and we'll add a brace, a cross brace for this.
Here's our brace. I just drew this in.
For the 5th time, I'm not a professional. So there's plenty of ways you could do this. I picked probably the easiest way that I could do it, that I knew would be sound and it wouldn't like collapse in on itself pretty much. But there's a lot of ways you could do it.
So like I said, the top and bottoms are about 42.5 inches. I had to cheat the top a little bit. And the sides are 33 inches to make it 36 inches tall and about 42.5 inches wide. Pretty standard door here. So I'm going to attach our gate kit and it's going to go right here. It's going to match roughly with our top and our bottom.
I bought this cheap kit from Lowe's. Listen, there's a lifetime warranty. I don't know. It's the only thing they really had. So decorative gate kit, we're going to slap these parts on here. We're going to make it work.
All right, here's our gate. Actually turned out very nice. Adding these base plates, my wife and I found we might add a top to this. We might even not even use them, but we're going to put them on, see what they look like. Something to make it a little bit more jazzy for the area. And the last picket for the gate's in. That's it, everyone.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate it. Hopefully this helps someone learning how to build a fence, pickets, a gate, or some playground. And again, just go out there and get it done. Maybe it won't be perfect. That's okay. Not everything can be. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.